but that will not affect Mahabharata in any way. Okay, and we can talk offline. Anyone else? Yes.
Sir, I have heard that after the end of Mahabharata, 37 years after Mahabharata, the city of Dwarka drowned.
Yeah.
So that evidence is often related with the end of the last ice age, which took place around 10,000 or 12,000 years ago. So these two evidences are contradicting one another.
Yes, wonderful. I love that. Okay, so I'll repeat what he said. I'll correct you also. He said after Mahabharata, after 27 years, tell me if I said it wrong, 27 years, Dwarka was destroyed and flooded. Okay? Mahabharata says, small mistake, but let's not make small mistakes. We are talking about the accuracy of astronomical equations. It was 36 years. Mahabharata says 36 years. Okay? So I don't know if I have evidence here, I'll show you, but we can talk afterwards. But again, a quick big answer. Our other friend said multidisciplinary evidence. So 5561 BCE is my year for the Mahabharata war. You add 36 years to it, it comes to, can you do a quick calculation? 5561 BCE plus 36. It's a trick question, you have to go in the right direction. 5525 BCE, 5525 BCE. So just like I showed here, so I'm going to write down the inference here. Dwarka was flooded and destroyed in 5525 BCE. Okay? Now the question is, what kind of objective testing I can do and what kind of evidence I have available. Now, do you think the astronomy evidence might work here for flooding and destruction of Dwarka? Not unless there is astronomy evidence. It said, when that flooded, something happened. Flooding and destruction of Dwarka, the astronomy evidence is of no use. What kind of evidence you think might be useful to check? Archaeology, and in specifically archaeology, what might work? Flooding and destruction, guys, keywords. Sea level rise, possibly, like a tsunami, evidence for sudden sea level rise. Huh? Oh, I love it. Who is that? Another 20 brownie points there. Yeah, the tectonics, earthquake, something like this. Okay. Part of that multidisciplinary evidence, I have oceanography evidence. I don't know if I have it here. Let me see. Again, someone keep a watch on time. Okay, just keep it. Here we go. Just keep on going until the end of the presentation. There is a question and answer. So there is a oceanography evidence for 5525 BCE around the world for sudden sea level rise. Keep on going until you see question answers. Sudden sea level rise. Okay, and if I have it, I will show you. Okay. Now there. Keep on going. By the way, to our other friend, this is a multidisciplinary evidence just going there. Okay? No, that's fine. I don't have it here. Okay. So I'll quickly summarize. If you go as far as Barbados, which is the east coast of America, in 5600 BCE plus minus 140, that has 5525 in it, a sudden sea level rise of 6.5 meters plus minus 2.5 meters. This is a wonderful work of another alumnus. I did my master's chemical engineering University of Alberta. Another guy called Blanchard, he was doing PhD in geology. That is his work. So from the ice age, actually 20,000 years, you have to go back 20,000, not even 12,000. There is a continuous sea level rise. It's a continuous sea level rise. However, there are sudden interruptions, and they are known as CRE, catastrophic rise event, and there are three. Okay, there are three, but I'll specifically mention the 15600. Sudden 6.5 meter rise. But you will say, well, what the Barbados has to do with Dwarka? So let me bring you closer. If you come to Turkey, Istanbul, okay, the Bosphorus channel that connects the Sea of Marmara or the Mediterranean area with the Black Sea. Now the Black Sea now is a salty sea, but it was not a saltwater sea. And do you know when it was not a saltwater sea? Again, archaeology, geology, marine archaeology, oceanography. In fact, I'll tell you when it became a saltwater sea. This is the great work of two geologists from Columbia University, Bryan and Pittman. Okay, their book you can read, and many papers. I mean, I personally correspond with them. There is one conference we are doing next year, WAVES, the World Association for Vedic Studies, and I'm trying to invite them for that conference. Again, they have nothing to do with Mahabharata, Ramayana, so that's even better. The time for Black Sea becoming a brackish or saltwater sea is, listen carefully, 5550 BCE plus minus 30 plus minus 40 years. But now you say that's still Istanbul. What about Dwarka? Let's come back to Dwarka. There are, I mean, the Arabian Sea. There are 40 specific studies done over last 30 to 40 years. All of them show a sudden rise in sea level in the Arabian Sea, like for the Mediterranean, like Iraq, not Mediterranean, sorry, the Gulf countries, the Iraq and whatnot, and also West Coast. But Iraq especially, sudden rise of, do you know how much? In the 6th millennium BC. Now 6th millennium BC is the 55-60, right in the middle. 25 meters. 40 different studies, 7 specific studies for the Arabian Sea. At 25 meters. In 6th millennium itself is 15 meters, and then another millennium went another 8 meters. This is oceanography. Who said plate tectonics and plates moving around? Okay. Now Gujarat, we are in Gujarat here. We know the area is tectonically very active. Dwarka is here. How many of you know a place called Moola Dwarka? Just one? Not Bet Dwarka. Moola Dwarka. A place called Moola Dwarka. Come on guys. Okay. It is a place just south of Somnath. Go Google. Okay, Google is our friend. And just say Moola Dwarka. Type Moola Dwarka. You may not know. Immediately it says Gujarat, India. In Google. What is that? That is a proxy for the original Dwarka, which is obviously under the sea now. Of course, we have a Bet Dwarka and the Krishna temple, but that is now later. If you do the dating, that's like 1,000-year-old, 2,000-year-old, not more than. Gujarat is a what do you call, the seismic active zone with lots of earthquakes. So forget last 2,000 years. Everyone convinced it did not happen in last 2,000 years? Yeah, everyone convinced. If you go back, there are 3 specific seismology records. This is a work of Professor Rajendra from Trivandrum. Now he is at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. The first one comes around 740, like 800 BC. Okay? If you look at the oceanography level, actually water level is going down. You know, water level when it went up 3 meters more than what it is today. It stayed there for more than 1,000, 2,000 years and then started coming down to where it is. It went 3 meters more. Okay? So then the second one is around 2000 BC, second earthquake. And the third earthquake, you want to guess a year? Aha, very good. Now you are learning, you are fast learners guys, thank you. 5540 BCE. 5540 BCE plus minus 130. Seismology record, oceanography record for 5525 BCE as my claim for flooding and destruction of water. Any other questions?
I think one of the methods which was suggested to look at the North Celestial Pole was to extend the line of the first 2 stars of the Saptarshi towards the nearest horizon. But after hearing you today that after maybe 1,000 years it will change.
Yeah.
So whether we can still have that guidelines to look at the
Okay. Thank you, Professor Gandhi. His question is, I don't know if you could hear, but I will repeat the question. This is not, of course, in Mahabharata. This comes into the later Puranas, where the reference is made to drawing a line from Saptarshi, 2 stars of Saptarshi, and using that to decide what did you say?
North Celestial.
North Celestial Pole. Of course, we don't need necessarily a line to decide the North Celestial Pole. It's actually very easy to figure it out. The context was given is actually the statement says when these 2 Saptarshi stars were aligned with the nakshatra Magha. That is when Mahabharata war took place. Okay, this is a later Puranic statement. This is based on something called Saptarshi cycle. Nothing to do with our Saptarshi. The name is similar, 2700-year cycle. I won't go into the details. But just to answer your question, many people have tried to make sense out of that verse. For example, Mayank Vaiya from TIFR Mumbai. Okay, he tried to make sense, I mean again, we communicate. And he said, he wrote an article, he got it published, and I have basically critiqued that. And I have said that that doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't give you anything. But he tried to make some sense out of it. This is from Mayank Vaiya. So no one has made any sense out of it. So those of you who are interested might actually want to research that and see if you can make sense out of it. But nothing that came out of that. That's a great question. Okay. All right. You may want to moderate and say one more question or 2 more questions and we stop.
Sorry.
sir.
Correct. So usually when their time is off, just to be polite, you say one more question, one last question. Anyone has any question?
और if you have a question, then contact गौरव शर्मा. और कल सुबह अरेंज हो जाएगा मिला सर. कल है अपने साथ सूरत में. तो और किसी को और ज़्यादा जानना हो या जैसे आपका और ज़्यादा डाउट्स हो तो सर यहीं पर है.
He's staying in our guest house. So we will arrange a meeting on the morning.
Or come anytime, that is fine. Or come anytime. Early morning, we will have a breakfast, you know. Thank you so much. थैंक यू सर. अभी हमारे साथ डायरेक्टर सर भी उपस्थित हैं. मैं उनका स्वागत करता हूं कि आपने वैल्यूएबल टाइम हमारे साथ शेयर किया और हमारे साथ शेयर किया. अभी मैं मोमेंटो से सभी का स्वागत करना चाहूँगा. नीलेश जी के स्वागत करने के लिए मैं शील को आमंत्रित करता हूँ कि वो मोमेंटो देकर उनको सम्मानित करें. मैं डायरेक्टर सर को मोमेंटो से सम्मानित करने के लिए रोहित सर को बुलाना चाहूँगा. मैं प्रधान सर का स्वागत करने के लिए धवल को बुलाना चाहूँगा. मैं दिनेश जी का स्वागत करने के लिए अंकुल को बुलाना चाह रहा हूँ. थैंक यू नीलेश सर, आपने अपने विचार हमारे साथ शेयर किए. और जैसे नीलेश सर ने बोला है कि अगर कोई डाउट है तो सर गेस्ट हाउस में अभी यहाँ है, अगर हम कोई मीटिंग अरेंज कर सकते हैं ऐसा. और प्रधान सर का भी धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा कि उन्होंने ये कार्यक्रम आयोजित करने में हमारा बहुत सहयोग दिया. डायरेक्टर सर का सम्मान का भी धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा कि उन्होंने समय निकाला हमारे लिए. और सभी ऑडियंस का भी सम्मान करना चाहूँगा कि उन्होंने समय निकाला और ध्यान से सुना. अभी फोटोग्राफी
हाँ करो.